Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Road Show. I'm your host, Dan, and today we're going to discuss denoms. What matters more? Does the denom matter or does the multiplier matter? All right, in short, none of it matters. It's a scam. They're all trying to take your money. Don't listen to them. Nobody online knows. They're all full of shit. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. There's a method to the madness. All right. Okay, so here's the deal. Denoms. Okay. Technically speaking, the machine will tell you which one's better. Historically, the further right to you go, the better your RTP is going to be, or the higher your payback is going to be. Now, how do you know that? How do you know which one's which? Okay, well, you really need to look on that boring menu that's on the games. Like every single game has a menu that's completely insane, of like 20 pages long, that nobody ever wants to read because it's boring as all hell. And then so people don't read it, and then they just try and figure it out. They're not all the same. There's games out there where the denomination doesn't matter as far as increasing your overall opportunity to win. It's the bet level, your multiplier. And then on some, the multiplier matters nothing. You got to change your denom. So on Dragon Links, for example, very popular, Dragon Links, the higher you go, further right, when you hit that select button, the further right you go on that selecting your denomination, it's going to increase your RTP. It just does. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean, oh my God, it's the best chance you're going to get to hit is going to be on the $10 bet. No. It's going to be a $2 bet. That doesn't mean that. It's just, the machine RTP, return to player, is a little better on those. In your outlier event, you may, and you're particularly where the math is on that machine, the 50-cent bet might be the best one at that time. You could hit that thing and hit the grand jackpot, which my understanding from the research I've done is more people hit on the minimum 50 cents, 88-cent bet, hit a grand jackpot than on anything else. So it's really a matter of the machine. Okay, read the machine. Nobody wants to. So I don't want to. That's kind of boring. Really kind of boring. It's really boring. Okay, and it's difficult to find. They don't make it easy. They really don't. They can put everything in one screen, and the rest of the stuff for people that love to read and numbers. People, they want to make it confusing as all hell, so you don't stay. They don't want to make it that easy for you. They have to put it on there, but they're not going to make it easy for you to find it. So what do? Just start chucking money in machines and farts around and see which one it is? That's exactly what they want you to do. Well, we have this beautiful thing today. It's called YouTube. Look into it. Actually, you are. You're on it. So watch other influencers, man. I'm going to tell you, all those guys that are playing the slots, I watch them consistently. And I'll tell you why. It's not for watching somebody play a game. I'm studying it. That's what I'm using it for. I'm using those channels to study how a machine plays. To watch somebody win and get the bonuses and stuff, that's all fine and dandy. I mean, that's fun. But I'm watching it because I want to understand how a particular machine operates. And it's going to tell me whether or not I want to play that game. Do I want to play this game? Or look at this. Look, they're trying every denom, every multiplier, and it's not paying out. Well, why would I want to play that game? Now, of course, it's kind of an outlier, but you can kind of tell by the game of where it's going to, how the game plays. Usually within 100 spins, you can kind of figure it out, and that's what they're doing online. A lot of these players, seasoned players, they're trying to feel out the games and find out how the action is, but whether or not they're going to stay and play that game, especially a new one. So that's what I look for in YouTube channels. I think that if you really want to understand how to gamble, YouTube is a great way, whether you want to play tables, whether you want to play slots. I mean, obviously there's a ton more slot content out there than tables because it's always easier to film slots than tables in a casino. They're pretty tight. You know, they don't really like you recording the table. You know, on some of these guys that do, and men and women, you know, they're proven. They've got huge channels, and you know, they know that they're going to, you know, uphold the rules in which they set at the casino as far as what you can do. They're not just going to let anybody do it. So, you know, I don't think you're just going to go in there with your iPhone or your Samsung, go in there and just start, you know, plucking away and recording and jamming out on a blackjack session. So anyway, so that's what it is, you know, and so it's about being informed. The more informed you are, the better player you're going to be. There's no question about that. So you get as much information as you can about it. And the information can come at someone else's dime. It doesn't have to be yours. You know, I want to go in there knowing as much as I can. And the reason I make these videos is to try and help you get as much information as you can so you can go in by stuff that I've learned over the years that you don't have to do. You don't have to go in there and just soak the machines with money, hoping to try to figure them out. You know? Now, truth be told, when we go to a machine these days and it's new, do we open up the rules and go, oh, what's going on? Nah. We'll take $100 and go to throw this thing and I'm gonna bounce around on denoms just because that's what's fun. You know, and that's, you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. You know, if that's what you like to do. But if you want to go in there and you want, you know, your goal is to try and make some money while having fun, you know, watch other people first. You know, get a little bit of education on how each individual machine plays, because they all play different. They all play for different bank rolls, you know. So watch them figure that out. As far as denom and multiplier, we'll go back to the denom and multiplier here. Which one's the best? Okay. In my experience with gambling and such, and the ones that seem to get the biggest hits are 10-cent, $5 denominations. This reigns true with the Dragon Link games, Fire Links, the Phoenix Links games, kind of most of the Aristocrat games, believe it or not. They kind of work along the same math. Now there are several games out there, the 88 games I call them. You know, typically kind of where the minimum bet's 88 cents. Whether it be Hot Pots or Mysteries of the Lamps, for me, and the things that I have seen, that particular game, a really good line is second bet multiplier at 2 cents. Not pennies, not 5 cents, not 10 cents. Not that you can't play those, but the ones that seem to be the most consistent for me, and from what I've seen, have been the 2 cent second multiplier, meaning second button to the right. Those typically hit very well. I mean, it is gambling. Obviously, there's no way to really beat these things. All you can do is increase your odds. And those two bets seem to be fairly solid bets for decent returns throughout, you know, the floor, the casino floor. Of course, it can be different. There could be a game where, you know, $7.50 on nickels is going to pay out crazy. I love that especially like a lot of these Dragon Link games, that 5 cent 175 bet. I love it or 125 bet, because now you're getting into the 5 cent payout for $1.25, which on most games, that's a minimum. $1.25 on a lot of games these days is a minimum bet on pennies. But now you get into a 5-cent bet for $1.25. So don't forget that one, because that's a real good one too. All right, I play that quite often and would do pretty well with it. So yeah, so that's my spiel on denominations. You know, you can, again, you can read them, but why? It's much more fun to watch them. Okay, that's my spiel on denoms and multipliers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your time. I appreciate you guys. You can, throw out a like out there, even leave a comment. I will answer your comments. If you ask me a question, I'll answer it on the next video. All right. So, well, you guys have yourself a great one, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.